I never thought betrayal could look so calm. No dramatic arguments. No tears. Just a text message that shattered everything I believed in. Sorry. I didn't mean for you to find out this way. That was it. No explanation. No apology that mattered. Just a sentence that ripped through me like ice. It was from Ethan. The man I had loved for 3 years. The man who promised me forever. I remember staring at my phone frozen. It was like time stopped. My hands were shaking, my chest felt heavy, and I couldn't even breathe. A few seconds later, another message popped up. But this time, it wasn't from him. It was from her. Hey, I think you should know, he told me you two were over. My heart stopped. She attached a photo. Them together, laughing, holding hands. And that's when I realized he didn't just lie to me. He built an entire world of lies. One where I didn't exist. I could have screamed. I could have cried. But instead, I did something he didn't expect. I smiled. Because in that moment, I decided something very important. He might have plagued me. But I would be the one writing the final chapter of this story. When I first met Ethan, I thought I'd found my person. He was charming in that effortless way. The kind of guy who always knew what to say. How to make you laugh when you wanted to cry. We met at a work conference. I spilled coffee on his shirt, and he laughed instead of getting angry. He said, "Wes, that's one way to get my attention." That line, that stupid, playful line, was the start of everything. Soon we were inseparable. Dinners, road trips, long late, night talks about the future. He said he'd never met anyone like me. He called me his peace, his home, his reason. I believed him. Every single word. He'd show up with flowers. Just because. He'd text me good morning and good night every single day. He knew how to make me feel like I was his world, but love can be deceptive, and people who seem too perfect usually are. The cracks began slowly. He started canceling plans, becoming distant, making excuses. Work's been crazy. I'm just tired. You're overthinking it. I wanted so badly to believe him. Because when you love someone, you don't look for lies. You look for reasons to keep believing. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. And when the truth finally came out, it didn't just break my heart, it woke me up. The first real sign came when he, accidentally, called me by another name. We were out for dinner, and he smiled at me across the table and said, "You look beautiful tonight, Anna." My name isn't Anna. He froze. Then laughed. Babe. I was reading an email from work. It slipped out. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to laugh it off like he did. But something inside me changed that night. I started noticing things. The late night texts. The sudden bathroom trips during calls. The way he'd turn his phone face down whenever I walked in. I told myself I was imagining it. But lies have a way of leaving traces. One night, while he was asleep, his phone buzzed. And there it was. Her name. Anna. My hands trembled as I opened the messages. Dozens of texts, photos, voice notes. He told her the same things he told me, word for word. The same, "Good morning, my love." The same, "You're my everything." It was like reading a script, only I wasn't the lead anymore. I felt sick. Betrayed. But more than anything, I felt foolish. How could I have been so blind? I didn't wake him. I didn't cry. I just sat there in silence, watching the man I thought I loved sleep peacefully beside me, while I felt my entire world fall apart. But that night, something shifted in me. If he could play games, I could play smarter. A week later, I followed him. He said he was going to a team dinner. I smiled and said, "Have fun." But I didn't stay home. I took my car and drove to the same restaurant he mentioned. Parked quietly across the street, waiting. And then I saw him. He wasn't alone. Anna was there, laughing, touching his hand, looking at him the way I once did. And he looked at her like she was his whole world. I watched them for an hour. Watched them smile, flirt, kiss. I should have been angry, but I wasn't. I was calm. Too calm. Because now, I had all the proof I needed. When he came home later that night, I greeted him like nothing happened. "How was dinner?" I asked. "Good," he said. "Just work talk." I nodded. "Oh, I'm sure it was." He didn't notice the flash drive I slipped into my laptop. The one with every photo, Every message, every proof of what he'd done. He had no idea that the woman sitting beside him was already planning his downfall. I didn't want to just expose him. I wanted him to feel what it's like to lose everything he thought he controlled. So, I started small. I made sure to act normal, to smile, laugh, kiss him goodbye every morning. He thought I was clueless. But behind that calm mask, I was setting everything in motion. I contacted a journalist friend who ran a lifestyle blog. Someone who had once interviewed Ethan about his business success. I told her I had a story for her. A real one. Anonymous, of course. She agreed to publish it. The story wasn't just about me. It was about powerful, manipulative men who pretend to be good, but secretly play with people's hearts for attention. And every example matched Ethan perfectly. Meanwhile, I also sent the same evidence to his company's HR, quietly. See, Ethan had a strict, no workplace relationship clause, and guess who Anna was? His new intern. By the time the blog went viral, his boss had already seen the screenshots. He was called into a meeting the next morning, and when he came home that evening, the first thing he did was slam his keys on the table.
"They suspended me,"
he shouted. "Someone's spreading lies about me online." I looked up from my coffee and said softly, "Lies, or the truth finally catching up?" The look on his face, that mix of confusion, realization, and fear, was priceless. He finally knew, and I didn't need to say another word. The next few days were chaos. The blog had spread across social media. People were commenting, sharing, speculating. Anna quit her internship and deleted her accounts. Ethan stopped going out. His perfect image was crumbling fast. Then one night, I got a message from him. "Can we talk? Please?" I ignored it. But he didn't stop. He called, texted, even showed up at my apartment. When I finally opened the door, he looked nothing like the confident man I once knew. He was pale, tired, desperate. "Why are you doing this?" he asked, voice trembling. I tilted my head. "You humiliated me, lied to me, replaced me. But sure, let's talk about what I did." He stared at me, speechless. "I didn't post that story to ruin you," I said. "I did it so people could finally see the truth." He looked away, tears in his eyes. "I made a mistake." "No," I said quietly. "You made a choice." That was the last time we ever spoke. After he disappeared from my life, things slowly changed. I started focusing on myself again. Therapy, work, the little joys I'd forgotten. I learned to laugh again. To trust again. To breathe again. Sometimes, people asked if I regretted it, exposing him like that. I didn't. Because it wasn't revenge. It was justice. He played with hearts like they were trophies. I just held up the mirror and made him look at himself. Months later, I saw him once. Alone at a cafe, staring out the window. He looked empty. And for the first time, I didn't feel pain. I didn't feel anger. I felt nothing. That's when I knew I was finally free. If someone betrays you, don't beg for their apology and don't chase closure. Let the truth do the talking. The truth doesn't scream, it waits. It sits silently in the shadows until the moment it decides to show itself. And when it does, it doesn't need to argue. It silences everything else. Ethan thought I'd forgive him. He thought I'd stay quiet, broken, ashamed. But I didn't. I turned my pain into power. I turned my silence into strength. Every time I wanted to scream, I reminded myself that he wasn't worth the sound of my voice. He had already taken enough from me. He didn't deserve my anger too. In the end, he destroyed himself trying to destroy me. The lies he told became the trap he fell into. The same charm he used to manipulate others became the mask that finally suffocated him. I didn't need to lift a finger. The truth handled everything. And when I finally looked back, I realized I didn't need revenge. What I needed was peace. And I found it in letting go. Because sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is walk away and let karma do the rest.